All right, everybody, Barcelona won. If you guys were in the stream, you met Paisley. This is Paisley. She hung out with me the entire stream. The realistic thing is the team didn't play that well, and so we have to understand that and be realistic going into this Napoli game, because if they are going to do the same thing against Napoli, we're going to be in a little bit more trouble, because the biggest threat that we were allowing to Mallorca was on the break. They were just sending long balls up to Lauren and Morici and, hoping and praying. Thankfully, our defense did great. Literally every single one of them. Cancelo did wonderful. Inigo Martinez was really good. He got maybe a silly yellow card, but he did pretty solidly, I'd say. In my opinion, I think he was all around pretty solid. As well as Kubarsi was fantastic today. I was very excited every time he got on the ball, and every time he made a very decisive defensive decision. He was really good today. Now, the midfield is where I'm kind of concerned, because I think we're going to struggle to really move around Napoli on Tuesday. We have no cohesion in the midfield. People are not linking up well together. Today, Joao Felix did not connect with anybody very well. Neither did Gundo. He didn't look great. I think that's a lot because he didn't have Pedri around him. It's a lot easier for him to play when he has the likes of Pedri. They just connect really well. They have very good chemistry. I think the team improved when Lewandowski came on, because Mark Yu just wasn't great with his link-up play. He was getting really manhandled. Not to say he was doing terrible link-up play, but maybe Mallorca was more energized at that point, but he wasn't that effective. And I think part of that is also just because Barca were struggling to create a lot of chaos up front, and that was putting a lot of pressure on you. I don't think Lewandowski would have been particularly better there. Lewandowski, I don't know if he would have been much better in that situation, or even Roque. But it's just something to pay attention to for this game on Tuesday. Now, Lamine Yamal, crazy goal, amazing goal. Paisley's just reacting to that because it was such a great goal. But you can't expect him to do everything like this. Like today, Barcelona was a lot like how Real Madrid has been playing this season. Unimpressive, uninspired for much of the game, not being able to get that final ball or that finish off to win games, and then they are saved by some special moments from players like Modric or Bellingham. That saved Madrid's season so far. Today, Lamine Yamal did that for us, but it's hard to rely on things like that when, especially the kid you're relying on to do that is 16 years old. Now, I think if Lewandowski is in there the entire game, it might be a little bit different, but it's not necessarily like I can go into this match against Napoli super confident. We weren't perfect, we weren't terrible, but there's a lot of questions to ask of our players here. Is Lamine Yamal still healthy? Because he got a knock at the end of the game. He got stepped on his ankle, and it looked like he rolled it a little bit. It didn't look. It wasn't. I can be certain it was not nearly as bad as Frankie De Jong's, but sometimes it's worse than it seems. So hopefully we hear on Twitter that he's fine in the next couple days so that he can play Tuesday, because the realistic reality is that we need him to start. If Lamine isn't starting, our threat going forward is significantly worsened. Felix looks okay, but I think again without Pedri up front, these guys struggle, and so I think it would benefit from a little bit of a better Felix. If Ferran Torres comes in even, I think I'd rather have Ferran Torres. I think he is coming back for this Napoli game. He might not, though. Don't quote me on that. But if he is around, I would prefer him to Felix. I think he just creates a little bit more nonsense with his runs. I think he's better linking up, and I think he's probably more threatening. I don't know. It's an interesting difference there. It is for sure, and I could give or take either one. It's not really that big of a deal. But also, I'm not sure where this leaves Fermin Lopez. Now, without Rafinha, Fermin Lopez has to start. I see it. I see no possible way that Fermin Lopez does not start with Rafinha out, and it looked like he was in bad shape. Now, I don't know how long it lasts. It might be, he might have just rolled his ankle, and maybe he'll be back by Tuesday. But it's something to worry about. This team is not super cohesive and working together. And we have seen from Real Madrid that teams can succeed when they don't work and mesh perfectly together. They can still scrape away victories. But Barcelona has just not been that team over the past several years. And I think now, especially without Pedri and Frankie, it's not going to be a convincing performance on Tuesday, and we're going to just need some luck. And look, our defense looks good, especially with Araujo back, because he was out today due to yellow card accumulation. With him back, it's going to look good. That squad together is going to be pretty solid. And I think that is something to be optimistic. Our defensive line will be able to go up against Guevara and Osimhen pretty well. They're two very decent attackers at times, and I think our defense can handle that. And so I have a good amount of confidence that we're not going to let in a ton of goals, especially with Christensen in the midfield as well. So, there are things to be positive about, but just because we won today doesn't mean we're going to be incredible. I got all excited after the Lamine Yamal goal, and it's very easy to do that. It was a great goal, but we're going to have a really tough game Tuesday, and I think Fermin Lopez has to start. I think it's going to be the exact same lineup today, except no Mark Gu and no Rafinha. I think it's going to be Lewandowski for Mark Gu and Fermin Lopez for Rafinha, and that's probably going to be the only change, as well as Araujo in for probably Inigo Martinez. And I think you keep Kubarsi in there as well. It's going to be interesting. Somebody just said in chat, 'cause I'm still alive, Kingley said, our defense is what gives me hope. We should have hope by that. That is something we need to be happy and confident about, because we still have a solid defense. So, fingers crossed that everything goes well. Lamine Yamal is fine. Rafinha comes back healthy, so we have a little bit more threat on the attacking side, and that Ferran Torres is available as well. But, we'll just have to see what happens. But thank you for watching the second channel. I'm going to think about bringing up some more videos on the second channel, because I'm also going to start live streaming more on the Twitch and the main channel. So, check that out. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe and stay tuned for that, and there'll be more. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.